Alright, this video will cover Loatheb and Maexxna, the two final bosses of Plague Wing and Spider Wing, respectively. We'll get started with Loatheb. Cool little thing, I believe Loatheb is a anagram, I think is what it's called, for the term healbot, to like battle, to mess with like healers, because it's a big healing fight. Anyway, Loatheb's right here. He has 5 million HP, which is a lot more than most bosses, but it's because we get a Spore debuff. So I'm going to go ahead and start the fight here while I talk it over. Um, the first thing that we'll probably see, I'm trying to think if the Spore spawns immediately, but you can see that we have the whole raid moving here on the right. The tank is moving in on the left. The healers, for example, like this, I think is my priest. They're over here on the northwest side. You have the range DPS on the southwest side. Melee going behind the boss. Make sure the boss is facing the ranged. No one needs to be hitting the boss at all here. The tank is in full, like absolutely full mitigation gear. So you can see you have all the healers here, range DPS. There's a ton of chickens, and a spore spawns. So this spore, I believe it should spawn in the corner that's furthest away from Loatheb. In this VOD, the spores spawn over here on the left side, which I would think would be the bottom right. But either way, the spore location may be different, so just be ready to move. But the thing with the spore is that once you kill it, you get a really strong debuff. It increases your chance to crit by 50%. If you're a caster, it increases your chance to crit by 60%. So it's a great debuff. And the other big thing is that it stops your threat gain completely. So as soon as you get that debuff, that's when you can start going off. Obviously, we cannot let the tank get that because that'll destroy the fight, but there's no reason that a tank should get it. The debuff will go on to the closest 5 people when you kill it. So I think if I skip ahead to where I get it, because I'm a hunter, so I'm going to get it like almost last. So it spawns over here. Do I click on it at all? Maybe not. It has like barely any HP. It should die pretty quick. Yeah, so it dies. So these 4 people, the closest people in melee range, all get the debuff. So when it's group 1 spore, all the mages will come over, kill it, then you move back away from the spore. You don't want to be like right next to it. So I think after I kill it, I should move away a little bit to give space to the warriors and whoever's coming to get it. With the spores, we're going to have 6 spore groups. So we're going to do mages first because, to get that ignite rolling. And then we'll just start going through, warriors, rogues, and, melee, and then to the casters, the other casters in ranged. We'll do 6 groups. We'll have marks on each one. Again, you're killing it when your group is there. If you miss your spore group, if you're too late, which you just don't mess it up, but if you do mess it up, you just need to wait until the fill spore, either spore 6 or spore 7. Do not try and grab the next one because, you missed on yours, you want to grab it immediately, because that will just send the fail, that'll just cascade it throughout all the groups. Just accept that you messed up and just take that extra spot in the last spore group. So that's one mechanic of the fight. The boss also decurses himself every 30 seconds, so we can see we have a timer right here. So in 15 seconds, he'll... hold on, let me go back. So here, he removes his curses, so Warlocks, just make sure you put, your curses back up. He also does an AoE poison on everyone nearby, so that's why the warriors and rogues will slowly kind of go down. If you have veracity enchants or heroism or any kind of self-heal, 4 set, 0.5 for warriors, you should be able to just heal through it. You can also technically elixir poison resistance. Truthfully, it's not really necessary. Or you can just pre-pop a GNPP, and that probably won't even get eaten through the entire time. The only reason I'm really talking about this is that if you do need to bandage at one point during the boss, after when Inevitable Dooms start coming out, you need to make sure you step away from the boss. You cannot be in melee range, or else the boss will just the poison aura will just tick through your bandage and stop it. So the inevitable doom will start after 2 minutes. You can see we're about to get our first one here, and the boss is already dead. This is a pretty geared raid, so we won't be killing it this quickly. But this goes out on the raid. It has 10 seconds. When these 10 seconds are up, it will deal 2,550 shadow damage to everyone in the raid. Warlocks, you can see right here. Warlocks can Shadow Ward to help with the damage. You'll pre-pop a GSPP. So see, boom, 2550. It is, I believe it's always 2550. I'm unsure if it can be resisted. We can have Shadow Prod on the raid, but it's definitely not something that I don't think Warlocks would want to wear Shadow Res for it necessarily. We'll pre-pop a GSPP after the first one goes out. You can re-pop a GSPP, and then you wait. and then you can bandage and Hellstone Tuber, and we'll have a system set up. I'm not really expecting more than 3 Dooms, truthfully. And 3 Dooms at 7,500 HP, so double GSVP, and if each one is a low roll, like you're still gonna only take about 4K damage. So truthfully, I'm not really worried about this mechanic, but we will still respect it, and we will still do the typical sequence. And finally, the big part of the fight is that is for the healers. So when we zone in, all healers in the raid will get a debuff. Um, this debuff puts all your healing abilities, including cleanse poison or abolish poison, including dispel, including cleanse, anything like that. Um, I think maybe like Bop or Priest Bubble, I assume as much. It puts all healing and all beneficial spells on a 1 minute cooldown, and it's shared. So if you do a flash heal rank 4, that'll put everything else on a 1 minute cooldown. It's very, very important that healers wear max healing power gear, and they're using their max healing, their biggest heal. So like inner focus, greater heal, rank 4 or 5, whatever it is, or you know, divine favor or fervor, max holy light. You want your biggest heal. Again, the tank will be wearing max mitt because the boss doesn't hit as hard, but you just have to time your heals out because we have 11 healers across a 60-second debuff. That's about 6 seconds per heal. So you can see the boss, the tank, he gets hit. He's not immediately getting healed to full. You want to make sure that you're doing pretty much no overhealing. Maybe Swan says a little bit something different in y'all's healing meeting tomorrow. So 100% listen to what Swan says because I'm not a healer. I'm just trying to convey the information or the mechanic. So that mechanic is just once you cast your heal for 1 minute, you can't do anything else. So always hit your biggest heal. I believe Swan will maybe call out when you're going to heal. I'm sure he'll talk about it, so I'll leave that to him. Pallies, you can also put Judgment of Light up on the boss. Priest, you can smite. You can hit the boss while you're not doing the debuff. Just make sure you're facing forward. So maybe actually don't hit the boss because you maybe can parry haste. But like druids and priests can. I don't know why I'm showing this. Sorry. Um, can smite or wrath. And again, you're facing over here because the boss will constantly face the healers. So it's kind of like Moam. Like we want to face the boss towards where he's going to be because he'll always turn at the mana users, at the healers, sorry, to keep applying the debuff. I think that mostly covers Loatheb. Biggest issues that I've seen on Loatheb are on pull. When DPS kind of go crazy on Loatheb before they have the spore. So the spore, like I said, it makes you not gain any threat anymore. But threat is still a thing before you get the spore. And there's some people that may not get the spore for 40, 50 seconds, whatever. So you just have to be careful. And again, the tank is in max mitigation gear. So it's just a threat fight. And then after that, it's a lot of fun with all the crit. Okay, so that's Loatheb. And then Maexxna. Are we over here? There is some. I'll show the trash actually before Maexxna. So let me show to where so this is Faralina's trash room. We come up here. These packs are just like the packs that we saw in the room before, I think, but instead they're these purple guys. So they shouldn't be an issue. I think the Tomb Horror, I believe, should do a Frenzy. And then these guys need to be facing away. There's also a Skitterer pack, so we'll have an AoE taunt here. And then another Tomb Horror pat as well. Let me skip through. So we come through, I pull some 4 goals. So these goals, I don't think they're the exact same type. They're similar as the Plague Wing goals, but not the exact same. There's 4 of them. We don't want to stack them. We don't want to AoE them down. We want a single target DPS. At 50%, I want to stun a disarm on them. And then you kill it. At 30%, they'll enrage, and they'll hit really, really fucking hard. So that's why we're single targeting. We don't want to get multiple enrages at once. Again, like I said, they're stunnable. I think they're shackleable. They should be the same essentially for everything in the Plague Wing, but they're just different names. So that's those. They'll pad around in a pair of 2 packs. There's also an Eye of Nax over here. Yeah, this thing. We'll pull this back and just kill it. I'm actually unsure if you're able to kick it, but it does, like I said about volley, I believe, and some AoE. It's just important we don't grab that with other trash. These Acolytes, I think, do somewhat similar abilities. Yeah, Shadow Volley and Arcane Explosion to these Eye of Naxxramas's. Eye of Naxxrami? I'm not sure. So we'll definitely, I mean, we won't be here. We're going to clear this room, so we're not going to all be stacked up. But I think the shuttle volley is not kickable. So just be ready. 900 damage, yeah. Just, you can pre-pop a GSPP or GAPP. Just be ready to heal the melee anyone that gets hit. You could probably face, I wonder, can you face them away? Are they a frontal? Let's see. I don't think they're frontal. I think it's a volley. I think it's an AoE. So there's the arcane explosion. I'm not sure. It looks like, oh, maybe it's not an AoE. Actually, I'm not sure. We'll face away. Just be careful. But we'll learn that tomorrow, or I'll learn about it after I make this video. These gargoyles are the same kind of gargoyles that we see in Plague Wing. Again, they do a stacking nature debuff. You can G and PP, focus one down, then focus the other. Just make sure, you kill them, you execute once they're low so that they don't heal to full. Another set of acolytes. And we're not going to be over here on the side. Like, this is like a speedrunning strat. We're going to be killing all this trash. There's also these Necrostalker pats that go in 2. So again, this is just like the trash we saw in Spiderwing. Hunters will be out. This is distractible. Yeah, they get a distract here. So be ready to do that, rogues. But again, we'll just have hunters max range so that for the charge, they absorb it and cleanse the poison immediately. This lava will bring your health down to like 20%, so don't run into it. Valeric, I think, hit it. And then some more acolytes. I think there's another path that can come in here. I think we see it here as well. Yeah, this path again. We don't need to go into this room. We don't need to kill these dogs and shit. So we won't worry about all this trash. Just hug right. You won't pull this. I think they get a distract on these actually as well. See it? Yeah, it's right there. So it's all distractible. Okay. Now Maexxna. So Maexxna has a couple abilities. First thing, she or he has a poison shock. It's just like a frontal cone. Does like 2,000 nature damage. Just don't stand in front of the boss. Just make sure the boss is facing away. I will say about this, the boss is really big, as you can tell. So they may move around weirdly. So just be ready to move, to reposition yourself if the boss like backs up or moves weirdly. Just be ready to move. Be attentive, like any fight really. You may need to back up as well. They also do necrotic poison. It lasts 30 seconds. It's on the main tank. It reduces their healing taken by 90%. So it's like a mortal strike on fucking steroids. So instantly cleanse poison. Honestly, I would just keep abolish poison running on the tank with like a pally ready to cleanse as well, just so you have that backup. They have a web wrap. So every 20-second, or sorry, at the 20-second mark, and then every 40 seconds after that, the boss will send 3 random players, I think anyone except the tank, up on this wall in like a cocoon. After a couple of seconds, the cocoon will have a mob that it'll have like an enemy nameplate that you can kill. It has about 6,000 health, I want to say, and you can kill it while you're in the cocoon. You will take nature damage, about 700 nature damage every 2 seconds. So it's not crazy, but it is notable. So yeah, here you can see me kind of rotating. So ideally, we'd have the hunters and warlocks, see where like this guy is, over here, so you don't even have to move. You just rotate it and just turn around and kill these ads. They won't come down until they're out. These people are up here. They're stunned. They can't do anything. I don't know what Petri does, but they can't do anything up here. In this video, we're just leaving them up. But let me show like a non-world buffed run. So here, this should be like a slower kill. I don't think they have any world buffs. Yeah, no world buffs. So they should be turning around, killing the ads. I don't do like. Did they even mean to pull this boss? I don't know what they're doing. But anyway, back to the subject. So those will just have hunters and warlocks swap to them and kill them as soon as possible. Healers will have some position. Oh, look, they even get cocooned. Yeah, so they're up here. That's a minute. Yeah, so start taking nature damage immediately. But they can receive heals, so just heal them. Hunters and warlocks take care of it, so the mages can keep the ignite going on the boss, and then come down and join the fight again. Let's see, at 30 seconds into the fight, and then every 40 seconds after that, Maexxna will spawn ads. Let me go back. I think, does it happen? Yeah, so it'll spawn all these ads. They're pretty low HP. I think they also have about 6k each, maybe 4k. Maybe that's what I've written. You can just AoE taunt. You can just lip AoE taunt. I can just do that and sapper, and they should all die pretty quick. The boss is not tauntable, I don't believe. Shouldn't be, at least. So it won't be an issue with that. And the last ability, like we just saw right here, is the web wrap. This is a 8-second stun on the entire raid. It also deals about 2,000 nature damage, so multiple things doing nature. So fairly good place to have a GNPP popped and ready to to repop. Again, the stun is 8 seconds, so you'll see the tank is probably going to get chunked here. No one. Oh, and he's got the poison. Ooh, that's really bad. Is he going to die here? So your softcore strat was to right before right before he goes out, you have a hots up, you have a shield rolling, you have abolish poison rolling, and you hope the tank lives through it. We're still gonna do that, but what you can do is you can Petri before the web wrap actually goes out. And then once the web wrap goes out, then you take off Petri, and then you can just start healing again. I don't want DPS to do this. I don't want because again the tank isn't going to be hitting, so he's not going to be able to generate any threat. I only want a couple healers to do this. Um, other guilds have done this on max clears as well, so I don't feel like it's too gimmicky. It's just legitimately just something that people do. A lot of guilds they'll do like a DI pally or like a soulstone pally, so that they can res. So I don't really see this as any different. So we'll do that, but still keep hots up. Make sure your hots are going right before the cooldown is up. So web wrap I believe is pretty exact on the timer. Or sorry, web spray. So 2, 1, 0, boom, it happens. Like it's pretty exact. So at like 4 or 3 seconds before, make sure it has renew, make sure it has regrowth, rejuve, abolish poison, everything. And then immediately coming out of this, maybe a lay on hands or a shield, something like that. At 30%, Maexxna will enrage. And start hitting really fucking hard. We really, really do not want to get an enrage during the web wrap. Maexxna, with our DPS, I think we will be able to kill it before a second web wrap pretty comfortably. But just save all cooldowns. I think we'll get to the boss around 55-60% on the first web wrap. Probably closer actually to 50% on the first web wrap. Web wrap goes out. We use our Death Wish, we use Wreck, we use everything to kill it before she web wraps again. I don't have the numbers pulled up. Maybe do I have? Let's see. If I look up like WoW Wiki Maexxna, that's not how you spell it, but hold on. I don't know. Bedtime story, Madonna song. Yeah, 1.5 million HP. So I'm not really worried about the web wrap, the web spray hitting us, because it'll go out. The second one will be at 80 seconds. So 1500 divided by 80 seconds. That's 18.75 thousand DPS with losing 8 seconds of damage. So we can say 72, and then losing a couple people. We'll have the EMF. I think we'll hit this if we're hitting our Rex and pressing our buttons correctly. So I'm not super worried about that DPS check either. It will be close. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think it'll be an issue. Okay, those are the two bosses that we're doing on Saturday. As always, if you have any questions, check the strategy channels at the bottom of the Discord. Feel free to message me on Discord as well if you have any questions. Again, as always, do your own research. Please, learn what your role is in the fight. We're still going to talk about our specific strategy if there's anything that we need to change up for tomorrow. But yeah, just ask and just be curious. But always also do your own research so that you understand the fight as well. All right.